Meeting. Welcome, welcome. Please, can you put in the chat group where you logged in from? I know this is supposed to be for UK and Ireland, but it's for everyone who wants to build in UK and in Ireland. We are about to start the biggest launch in UK and Ireland. If you are in UK, tighten your city belts. I know people in Zimbabwe, a number of them are on the call already. They are ready to explode in UK as well. So welcome to tonight's Zoom meeting. I like the song that was playing. You know, every song, it changes the mood. I don't know if you were listening to the words of the song, that we are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. And this meeting is going to give us the roadmap for how we are going to grow, from a few people, 36 people here, to thousands, if not millions, worldwide. UK, it's like United Nations. All nationalities are in UK. If you win any one person in UK, you can grow. I remember the other time we're in another company with Marvelous. She signed up someone who signed up someone in Zambia. And we grew a very big team in Zambia from UK. And that person was never left UK. So tonight, I'm introducing someone very, very special. Ladies and gentlemen, I pray that your eyes be opened to see and to run with this leader that we have. When I decided to do this business, I looked for her because I knew the type of leader that she is. And I wanted to do this for, as my last run in network marketing. So I wanted the best of the best. In the previous company, she grew teams of over 450,000 people. She took country by country in Europe, Australia. She mentored 32 people to be first-time millionaires. People that I knew I had met in presentations, and some of them I knew them before they were, like having 25, and the next thing they are $1 million earners. She's very humble, but she has got a heart to serve, to empower. She works with people that are hungry. She will not push you, but if you are hungry, she will work with you. So we are blessed to have this meeting, setting up how to grow in UK and worldwide. So she's an international trainer. She's a business growth coach. She's a $1 million earner in this industry. So allow me to welcome my mentor, Efrosin Adamitz. Welcome.
Thank you, my dear Helen, for that amazing introduction. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a powerful month. But what I'm really excited about the most, believe it or not, is to come to London and hang out with you, Helen. It's
I'm looking forward to that as well.
So guys, as this is a training call, I'd love for all of you guys to turn on your video camera because I want to see you guys as well. I want to have a conversation with you. I want to look into your eyes because I feel that this is going to be a historical call. I do believe we're about to create history right now. And the only way to create history is if we do this together. So thank you, Helena, my dear superstar, for turning on your video. Thank you, Gladys, for turning on your video. Gladys, congratulations, by the way. Guys, Gladys, not only has she created a storm this month by putting in, how many personals are you up to now, Gladys? 16? I've lost track. But she's literally come in, guys, and she's putting in, she's number 1 on the leaderboard. She's already hit bronze. She's already hit silver. She's going fast to the next ranks. But the reason I want to recognize Gladys for a second is also because today she also booked Amplify. And that means I know and I can see and I'm watching that she's destined to do some amazing things with us. Great launch, Gladys. Just the beginning, my dear. Okay. Rati, welcome. Mavi, welcome. Amazing. Who else? Thank you for turning on your videos, guys. Rumbi, Clara, Star. Awesome. I feel like the women are coming up strong in this call. Great. So, guys, here's what I'm going to literally get into it. And we're not going to go too long tonight. I want to get straight to the point. Tonight is designed in order to shift things to a whole new level by focusing on something that is happening in the next couple of weeks. But I know some of you guys are new. I know some of you, we've had the pleasure of connecting in previous lives, maybe even spending quality time together, building together. But I also know that some of you are quite new. So I want to share a little story with you guys before we get into it. 16 years that I've been involved in the network marketing industry, and Helen shared some of the results that I've been blessed to have created over the last 16 years. But the thing that a lot of people don't know is because people end up seeing the story afterwards, they see the glory afterwards, but they don't see the beginning. They don't see when, we started in this industry in network marketing, just like everybody else, with just a dream and a vision. A dream, a vision, and huge hunger and desire. But I can't turn around and tell you that I had unshakable belief that we would build something huge. I would be lying if I did, okay? So I always believe in being transparent. I always believe in being open with people. When I first started on this journey, all I wanted to do was just make enough money in order to pay the mortgages that I had. Some of you might have heard my story on the presentations. Had 2 mortgages, lots of debt. And I just said to myself, if I can make enough money, if I can just make a couple of $1,000s a month, and I'm able to pay my mortgages without stressing if I lose my job tomorrow, I'm going to be homeless. That was literally my first goal. I didn't know how long it would take me. In fact, I'd given myself 5 years. I said, if I can just make $2,000 a month part-time in the next 5 years, this will be a huge success. Now, if someone told me that in the next 5 years, I would have literally made my first million in network marketing, I would have replaced my full-time income within 13 months part-time, and I would have traveled the world over 150 times in 5 years, I would have been like, come on, that's not realistic, okay? But one thing that I've learned over the years is that the only person that can challenge your reality is you. Nobody else. The only person that can decide what's realistic for you is you. Okay? I don't know who's on this call right now, and you make a decision tonight and you go, you know what? In the next 5 years, I want to make my first $1 million. In the next 5 years, I want to be able to replace my full-time income multiple times, fire my boss, and travel the world. Okay, I don't know which one of you guys is going to make this decision, but I know that there's going to be some decisions that will be made tonight that's going to shift everything. So let me basically share with you guys a story in terms of how did that become possible? And everything started from the first 12 months, okay? And, some of you guys might have heard me say this before, and I like repeating it because repetition is the mother of all skill. In network marketing, on this journey, you have one first week, one first month, one first year. The story you're going to create, you're going to be saying it for the rest of your life. So you got to make it a powerful one. Here's one thing that I did. In my first 24 hours of taking action, I enrolled 9 people. How did I do that? All I did was invite my closest friends, put them in front of my brother, who was my sponsor, and I let him do the talking. I just invited and I let the tools and the system do the work. I didn't sit back and wait for it to happen, but I leveraged the tools and the system to make it work. My first 30 days, I enrolled 20 personals. Why? Because my mentor told me what I told you just a few seconds ago. Go one first week, one first month, one first year. Build a powerful story because you got to keep sharing it for the rest of your life. So I literally just focused on creating the first money story because evidence beats opinions all day long. In this business, we know you guys are going to have, people are going to tell you their opinions, right? I was actually, this weekend, I was at a real estate conference, and it's so funny because even now, years later, I still run into people that have come across our previous company, and I hear 2 types of opinions. I hear the opinion of like, oh yeah, I heard about the thing. I managed to get away without joining. Okay. And then they don't know that I was there and that was basically my home and my legacy for 11 years, right? And then I get the other side of the story of people saying, hey, I'm so glad I did because it helped me develop into the person that I am today because I plugged into the personal development. The funny thing is, the people whose opinion counts are only the people that have the lifestyle that you want. I literally had a guy that said to me, yeah, I'd heard about it. In fact, I went to a couple of presentations, but no, I didn't join. And he said it proudly. And he goes, did you join? And I'm talking about our previous project. And I'm going to tell you why this is relevant in a second. And I said, yeah, of course I joined. He goes, oh, did it work for you? I love this question, by the way. Did it work for you? Guys, like, network marketing in Viago is not a pill you can swallow and hopefully it works for you and magically your life transforms and you become financially free. Okay? It's a vehicle. So it doesn't work for you unless you make it work for you. And I said to the guy, I said, no, it didn't work for me. I said, I made it work. Well, he's like, did you make money? I said, yeah. He goes, did you make a little bit of money or a lot of money? I said, I made several million. And then his eyes just opened up and he's like, you made that much money? And I'm like, uh-huh. And then all of a sudden, he went from like being like all skeptical to all of a sudden leaning forward going, so it works? And I'm like, I said, of course it works because I made it work, okay? Anyway, the funny thing is that, he literally started asking questions and questions. And he's like, and is the company still around? And what are you doing now? And all the rest of it. And here's the shift. When you make the shift between you pushing people to join you, but more getting them to push for you to recruit them. Like they're literally, he was practically begging me to see a presentation of what I was doing right now. He was practically begging me. And he's like, just please send me the presentation. I said, maybe. He goes, no, I really want to see what you're up to right now. I said, yeah. So I'm busy the next few days, but maybe over the next few days I will. Why am I saying this to you, by the way, guys? I'm saying this to you because when I first got started in this industry many years ago, I was not that person. I was the hunter. I was a person that I was literally, if they breathed, they were my prospect. I was out there hustling and chasing people down. And I think some people, maybe I spoke so much that they signed up just to shut me up. Okay. So people see the end result, okay, but they don't see the beginning. And it was literally the beginning. I was just ignorance on fire. I was doing a lot of things wrong. I was saying too much. I was pushing too much. But here's the one smart thing that I did. I kept on going to training, to training, to training, and I kept on listening, learning, and then going, oh, that's what they mean by that. And then going back and fixing the action a little bit more. And then going back to another training and then learning a few more things. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I stopped making mistakes. I still make mistakes up until now. I still make mistakes. But here's the magic thing that I realized. There is nothing wrong with making mistakes. Write this down. Fail fast, but fail forward. Let's say this one more time. Fail fast, but fail forward. Nothing wrong with making mistakes. Just make mistakes fast, and every single time you're making mistakes, keep moving forward. Okay? The only thing wrong with making mistakes is if you're making the same mistakes over and over again. Make new ones. Make fresh mistakes, okay? But don't keep making the same mistakes. Now, like I said to you, I did everything wrong. The first few months, I literally, with a lot of pushing, hunting, presenting the wrong way, inviting the wrong way, I literally managed to build a team of 200 people in the first 4 months in network marketing. Okay, now, pitfall number one, my ego. I thought I had arrived. 200 people. Look at me. I have a team of 200 people. I thought I was somebody. Okay, right? And there was a training. So I went to the first training by myself. And I don't know why, but I left that training. I still went and made a bunch of mistakes. Then I went to the next training by myself, and they told me that the magic is not how many people you have in your team. The magic is how many people you bring to the trainings. So I literally took 12 people to a training. Okay. And then there was a little bit of growth, right? But here's one thing that I made as a mistake. And I'm saying this to you because, you know, as a good leader, guys, my job is to share with you the mistakes that I made. I'm not perfect. I made a lot of mistakes. But if I can help you learn from my mistakes, if I can help my hindsight become your foresight, it means you can learn from my mistakes instead of going wasting time, valuable time, energy, and frustration, and making your own mistakes. So those 12 people that I took to a training, my team started to grow a little bit, but nothing huge. Because I took those 12 people to a training. Here's what I did. I'm like, I took them to a training. Go out and create your magic now. Okay. I expected them to like literally come to the training and just get this magic thing in their mind and all of a sudden become a superstar overnight. And I didn't see huge growth after that training. So then I went to another training. This was my third training. And my third training, funnily enough, was London, September 2009. Okay. This time, I had about another 10, 15 people or so. But 4 of them were the right people. 4 of them were the right people. How do you know if you got the right people in your team? I'll tell you how you know. It's people like Helen. I don't have to call Helen to motivate Helen to chase her dreams. Okay, Helen's motivated. Helen's hungry. Helen's doing it anyway. If I never call Helen again, I have zero doubt that Helen's just going to go out and do it anyway. Why? Because she's a leader. And a leader doesn't get affected by their environment. A leader affects their environment. They influence their environment. She's got the eye of the tiger. She's taking the action. She's got the energy. She's getting things done. Okay. So the thing is, that's the people that you look for. You look for the people that are hungry. They're gonna do it anyway. Okay. That's how you know you've got the right people. See, those four people within over the next 2.5 months, we had 800 people join our team through those four people. So it took me 4 months to build a team of 200. But where I was going wrong, I was not duplicating. I was just doing addition. I was not following the system. I was Efrosini dependent, not system dependent. So I had to go to another training in order to rewire my brain to get myself out of the way of sabotaging my own success. And I went to another training and understood the power of taking the right people to the training, but more importantly, not just taking the right people to the training, then locking arms and running with them. So 2.5 months, we had 800 people join our team through those four people. Then there was another training. This training happened in Cyprus, February 2010. This time we really got it. I pulled those people aside, the people that joined our team, and I said to them, we need to put hundreds into this training because I've seen the numbers, I've seen the impact that these trainings can do. Guys, we didn't just call people to get them booked for a training. We used to rock up to their house. Okay, now, sometimes right now we rely so much on Zoom and all these tools that I see people and they're sending a text going, hey, you should join me on this training, and they send a link and they think that's going to influence people. You can't influence people through a text message. You need to speak to people. You need to influence people. Do a video call with people. We literally rocked up to their house. So we said something big is gonna happen in Cyprus in February. And we're gonna get everybody we know to be at this training because we're about to create history. And we literally went through the team one by one. Every single person that had joined the team, we called them. We managed to put 500 people in that training, February 2010 in Cyprus. And then within 6 months after that training, we had a team of 5,500 people. Okay. Now, I'm sharing with you guys the first 12 months in network marketing. Okay. That created a domino effect. But literally everything started from one training where we took the right people and then we started running like crazy. Guys, the training that is happening in London on the 25th of April, we literally have 26th of April, my apologies. We have 12 days left, okay? My invitation to you, I believe that this training, with what we're doing in Viago right now, I believe this training is going to be the training that over the next few years, a handful of you guys are going to be talking about this training the same way that I'm talking about the training in September 2009 that changed everything in my business. I believe April 26th in London is going to be that training. I don't know the people that are going to be in the room that are going to make a decision at that training. Here's what I know. There was one guy that I was at that training that before that training, he showed the presentation to 300 people and nobody had signed up. 300 people and nobody had signed up. The guy was like 22 or 23 years old. His friends were laughing at him, going, "You want to be a millionaire? You think these things are going to work?" Now, naturally, he was doing a lot of things the wrong way, okay? But you don't know what you don't know. He was this close to quitting. In fact, he called me up and he said, Frosini, I don't think this is going to work for me. I love when people say this, right? It's like, did it work for you? Or when they say, I don't think it's going to work for me. Okay. The only way Viago can work for you or not work for you is you. You are the common denominator, right? Every single person has the same opportunity. The only difference, Gladys, who's basically come in and enrolled close to 20 people in her first month, has the same opportunity. It's the same opportunity as the next person that's going to join tomorrow. The only difference is you. You're the common denominator. You're the X factor, right? So anyway, so he called me and, I always know when people have got one foot out the door because the energy shifts and they go, "Oh, I've been thinking and I think it's not going to work for me. And I think I'm going to give it a miss," or something along those lines. And I called this guy aside and I said, "Listen," I said, "you joined in order to do what? Change your life, right?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "Have you made money yet?" He goes, "No." I said, "Have you traveled with us yet?" He goes, "No." Now, I knew the answers to this anyway, but I was asking him anyway. I said, "So if you basically got into this vehicle in order to change your life, to travel the world and make money, you haven't done either yet. Have you even played to win?" Guys, when you're in Viago, in order to win, you have to play to win. If you're negotiating the price of success, you can't enjoy the taste of success, right? You can't negotiate the price. You're just going to pay the price. So if you're in Viago and let's say you haven't booked the training and you're thinking, "Yeah, I'm going to be at the training," but you haven't booked it, you're not playing to win, right? To win, you have to play to win. That's like getting into the football field and there's a goal right there and you're not even shooting for the goal. How are you going to score if you're not even shooting for the goal? So I challenged this guy and I said, "Well, listen, you give up right now, you're never going to know what this business can do for you. You're going to be one of those people that say, 'Yeah, join, but it didn't work for me.' Here's what I can promise you, though, that if you decide to come to this training in London, and if you just follow in what I tell you just for 90 days, if you give it everything you've got for 90 days following this training, and your life has not been impacted and you don't start making money, whatever you pay to come to London for this training, I will pay for you out of my own pocket." Guys, I've said this to so many people over the years. Never once in my life have I paid someone out of my own pocket, because every single time when people take this advice, they always come back and thank me for pushing them to go to this training. So this guy was literally this close to giving up. He comes to this training, right? He has no money. He's sleeping on the floor of one of his friends, okay? Because he has no money for accommodation, right? In fact, he had to borrow the money just to come to the training. And literally straight after that training, he recruited one more guy that became his running buddy. And the two of them started doing presentations together. The guy that he recruited the first week, straight after that training, within 45 days, built a team of 200 people. in 45 days. That automatically pushed this guy to hit 2 ranks within 45 days. In 6 months later, this young guy, and his name was Andreas, to give you an idea, this young guy became the equivalent of 500, 500. Okay, in 6 months after that training. This is a guy that was about to give up on his dreams. Now, fast forward 11 years later, through that guy, we put in well over 350,000 people in our team. The one guy that was this close to quitting, but someone cared enough for him that pushed him to come to this training. That guy met his wife through the club. That guy has got a 10-year-old boy that literally celebrated his 10-year birthday. That had he not met his wife on a trip in Mexico because of our previous company, right now he wouldn't have had his 10-year-old boy. Guys, I'm saying this to you because sometimes there's decisions that you make that you don't understand the impact of those decisions until 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, a year later, 3 years later, 5 years later. This is what I feel is going to happen in London 12 days from now. Okay? So I know some of you are like, yes, I'm in Zimbabwe, I'm in Kenya, I am not even anywhere near close to London. Yes, I totally understand that. But you know what though? You can recruit for London. We can literally, over the next 12 days, leverage the Zoom presentations and start reaching out to your network and go, hey, who do you know in the UK? And literally get people started and have a new team coming into London, right? But the thing is that in order to be able to do that, the first thing that you got to do is you got to lead by example. If you're in the UK and you haven't booked for this training, I'm going to put the link here, actually. Hang on. I'm going to put the link here. Okay. Now, this link, by the way, guys, it's not a link that I want you to post on social media to invite your prospects to use this link in order to book. This is not how it works. You recruit, okay? So you're inviting to recruit people right now to leverage the presentations. You get them booked for this training, and then you get them focused on bringing a team to these trainings. If you're in the UK, even if you're close to the UK, right? You know, if you're anywhere in the UK, if you're in France, if you're in, I don't know, Netherlands, we've got people flying in from all types of countries for this training. Doesn't stop you from recruiting those people as well. Reach out to your contacts. If you're in the UK and you have not yet booked this training, go and click on this link. Don't just book one ticket, guys. Book 2 tickets. Book one for yourself and book one for your new team member that you're going to recruit. This is actually a strategy that my mentor taught me a few years ago. I remember one of the first events that was happening in London, and I made a commitment that I would have 100 people in the room. And what did I do? I bought a pack of 10 tickets. I couldn't afford to buy a pack of 10 tickets. It was about 250 pounds for me at the time, and I was broke. But I bought a pack of 10 tickets. Why? Because I couldn't afford to lose them. So I knew that if I stretched myself and I committed to those tickets, then all of a sudden I would do whatever it takes to fill those tickets. And I did. I bought a pack of 10. I got 10 people booked for the training. I bought another pack of 10. And I did the same thing. I'm not telling you do this. I'm just getting you to understand the psychology of playing to win. To start with the end in mind, to instead of saying, I'm going to try to take some people there, you already make the decision, I'm going to have a team there. In fact, I'm booking a ticket and I'm booking an extra ticket. And then use the next 24 hours to show a few people in the UK, get them started and go, hey, look, I've got a ticket for you. I've already booked it for you. You need to just to send me the £30 and I'll transfer the ticket to your name. And then you get another ticket. And you get another ticket and you keep stretching yourself. And next thing you know, in 12 days, you have 10 people, 10 new people at that training with you. Bomba?
Bomba.
Is this making sense, guys? Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Guys, I really am looking forward to creating history with you guys over the next few weeks. I'm telling you, like I feel it. The UK, and I shared this, we did a leadership call preparing for these. And I said this to them is that literally the UK in our previous company, the UK was one of the only countries that was going to launch. And we just pushed them in order to basically agree to launch Cyprus. And Cyprus launched through the UK. And through Cyprus, we launched Greece. And through Greece, we launched Romania. And through Romania, we launched Russia. And it just created such a ripple effect of literally one person that joined that you never know where they are in the team. In fact, the Romanian team, to give you an idea, was literally a lady that was a hairdresser that was good friends with the guy from Greece. And he called her and he said, hey, look, while you're doing my hair, I also want to share an opportunity with you. And she got excited enough that she called one of her good friends who also got started. And the two of them created a team of 40,000 people over the next 5 years in Romania, right? Years later, Imola and Chongi, that I know that you guys have seen them grow and develop, and they did an amazing training on leveraging social media the other day to build this business. Imola and Chongi would not have been in our lives had it not been for someone in Greece sharing this with someone who shared this with someone who shared this with someone. And several years later, Chongi joins and he's 17 years old. And the first few years, they had no results, but they never stopped going to trainings. And now you see them, and they're basically, I mean, I feel like this young couple is going to do some huge things, but it just started from one seed. So that's it from me, guys. Okay, looking forward to seeing you guys in London. Share the link if you haven't booked. Get booked for the training. Let's pack it out. The room, unfortunately, it does not fit a lot of people. It only fits 75 people, but I know that we can sell it out. I want to be sold out. I want people to miss out because it's really going to set a precedent of what's about to happen. Thank you for tuning in, guys. See you in London.
Thank you.